Hola Esteban, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo te va? Muy buenas tardes, feliz año. Hi Nick, how are you? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Hi Nick, I would like to ask you, next week you have one game to Barcelona Sporting Club from Ecuador. How do you know about this club, and how you get the position to find this game with Barcelona? Thank you.
Well, firstly, afternoon guys, it's good to be back. It's another season, and you know it's really good to be in front of you all again and have this weekly chat, talk some football, and you know talk everything about the team. So we're really excited for our whole pre-season schedule really, and starting next week with the first game. It's a great opportunity for us to get the guys together, get them on the training pitch, get them playing again. There's a really good positivity around the group. There's a really good vibe around the staff, and I think the front office has delivered us an amazing pre-season schedule this year. So we're excited to play the first game. As we do with all of our opponents, we have a fantastic analysis department that will provide us with as much and whatever we need on opposition. But I think it's really clear for us this year. It's about just going and being ourselves and really trying to be the team that we know we are, and playing real positive football, because we want to get the real good times and the exciting times back. And like I say, it's definitely really exciting being back here on pre-season.
Scott Churchson?
Sorry, Esteban. But what you know about Barcelona?
What do I know? I know listen, when we deliver a pre-season schedule, we want to play against teams that are competitive. We want to play against teams that are going to challenge us, and we can go through all the film and all of the video, but ultimately we don't know what to expect. I think this year is not about the opposition, it's about ourselves, and it's about making sure that whoever we play, whatever they field, that we go out and be positive and play attacking football. So if I'm honest, I'm not so concerned with the opposition that we play. Our front office will provide us with a real competitive pre-season, and for us in pre-season it's about making sure that we continue to improve and we continue to put our team on the pitch. I know we're gonna face a competitive team, and that's exactly what we need in pre-season.
Scott Churchson?
Happy New Year and welcome back, man.
Hey Scott, how are you?
Yeah, good, man. Thanks. Just a little bit about the offseason here. Obviously, last year was a challenge in a lot of ways. How do you feel right now? What did you learn from it? And give me some thoughts if you got it. Thanks.
Yeah, you were coming in and out a little bit. I think your question was around the offseason and what we learned.
Yeah, sir. Sorry about that. I'm in the subway.
No, it's no problem, man. Yeah, I think it was a crucial period for us, but a real exciting period in the sense of we got together with all the key people around our team, whether it be the key people in the front office, David and his team, all of my staff and the performance staff, and we really did a deep dive into the season and a real in-depth review on not only, and I get that the initial mindset goes to why we didn't and but actually looking at all the good stuff as well, and looking at what we want to retain from last year and what we did really, really well, and how we improved the team, and those players that we added in the summer transfer window, and we were really excited by, how we take those players to the next level whilst blending them with the current squad, and then where we want to evolve the team, and then looking at the areas, of course, that we know we have to be better in. And I think the one thing that I'm really pleased with around the whole team, whether it be playing staff, front office, support staff, is we really closed that chapter, and we put a full stop at the end of it, and we said this is the team that we are. We're fully aware that what happened, but we're also looking at it logically, and we look at the past of MLS and those teams that in the years post MLS Cup that didn't make playoffs but then rebounded really quickly, and that gives us inspiration, that gives us enthusiasm. And like I say, we learned a lot. We've been here now in Florida, and there's a really good feel and a really good vibe around the group. And the one thing I can assure you now is everybody is looking forwards, and that fills me with real pride, one, in the team. I'm proud of them, but also it really inspires me, enthuses me.
Trey Fillmore.
Hey, Coach. Happy New Year. Thanks for
Happy New
talking
Year.
with us. Last season, later in the season, you mentioned how it would have been ideal to have a lot of the new signings you had, taking them through a full 7-week preseason in the Indio California Cup. Now you kind of get that off season with those players you brought in last summer, like Burke and Bakrar, and you also are getting some new players as well. Just talk to us kind of how that feels to get this opportunity to really work everyone in with a full preseason and what some of your goals are.
Yeah, I think the opportunity that provides is endless, and I think it gives you I can't talk about what it didn't or what it will. All I can tell you is being here with the guys and feeling the energy around the group and feeling the real enthusiasm around the relationships being built between our players that maybe never had a preseason. A preseason gives you a great opportunity to get out together, and whether it be on the field, do that real work and real specific work of where you want to take the team, or off the field, really spending time together and making sure that you really build that bond and grow the group. And of course, like I said last year, the earliest possible moment you can get the group together, or the majority of the group, the more time you have. It is really simple, really. And the likes of Thiago Martins and Burke Risa and Santi Rodriguez and Telles Magno and all of these guys, you can feel the energy that's there in them and the real purpose that they have in making sure that we, on the field and off the field, are really focused on making sure that we prepare the team every day. We literally trained this morning. It was an incredible session. The guys are working really hard, and we take it day by day on pre-season, because that's all you can do, is take it day by day, plan and review, go train in between that. And the goals for the team are to improve every day. They were last year and they will continue to be. We want to be an exciting team. We want to play football that excites people and that is real fun to play. And ultimately, when I stand on the side and watch the training, that's what I see. Guys are enjoying themselves, and guys are enjoying being back together and training together and really making sure that we continue to hone and just polish the team.
Michael Ender.
Hey, Nick, thanks for taking the time. So you mentioned all the competition and you have set up for preseason. You also said that you focus more on yourself. Do you feel like you have too many competitive games to where you don't have enough time to spend with the team focusing on the things that you want to fix from last year?
No, because we would have put less games in if we thought that. We've been really purposeful with who we wanted to play, when we wanted to play them, and in almost in what order and how we want to do it. And we've had a period of time pre the first game that we're in now, which is a real block of work. And ultimately, the guys want to get out and play. The guys want to get on the field and make sure that we can go and keep honing that style in the game against really tough teams. That's why we've picked the teams that we want to play. So I think the preseason is perfect. We've got a lot of time together, whether it be in the video room, whether it be on the grass, and we're in full flow. We're in full flow at the moment. I'm really enjoying it.
Javier Gutierrez.
Hey Nick, I hope you're enjoying the weather while it's snowing out here. So Matt Freese kind of got the start towards the end of the season, and he kind of owned that position, and it was his to lose. At this point, with this extension and him going into this new season, and it might be decided during preseason, but is it his job to lose at this point?
Well, my wife is ringing me every day showing me the snow, and she's not so happy that it's freezing cold in Jersey and we're in Florida. So, I know the weather is not so great there, but I think ultimately that in pre-season, everybody comes back with a real enthusiasm and a real desire, and Luis Barraza is no different. We've got Alex Rando as well here with us, that our MLS2 goalkeeper that is training incredibly well. And then you got Matt that, of course, finished the season. The goalkeeping department is always going to be one that's competitive, and I get it. We want to have a number one, and I don't see, I'll be honest, I don't see the change of goalkeepers like we had last year. We will probably go with a number one, but on day 5 of pre-season, it's pretty difficult for me to say we're going to go with this guy. But Matt finished really strong, but I'm proud of Luis. It's tough to take when you lose your spot like that, and I'm proud of Luis, the way he's come back. He came back in excellent condition. He is training like an animal. So, they're pushing each other. And the one thing that I am really proud of is the rapport and the real cohesion that they have in the goalkeeping department. Our goalkeeping coach, Rob Vartugian, does an incredible job.
Juan Carlos?
Hi, Coach. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Kind of going back on different, similar questions. The goalkeeping position, and then the signings that are coming back. On that line, having Santi Rodriguez, having Maxi, having Andres, and today the club announcing Keaton Parks. How do you feel with the midfield part of the team? Having so many options now and having so many good options, how do you see the team building up in that part of the field? And just quickly, do you know anything about Maxi's recovery period?
Well, the Keaton one is really exciting for us and for everybody involved in the club. I'm ecstatic that Keaton is extended his contract, and he's going to be here for the future, because I thought Keaton had a really strong year last year, and another guy at the end that had a huge desire and a huge motivation to come back and make sure that he can be a real important player and a real exciting player for our fans. So the Keaton one I'm really pleased with. He's training really well. The team is competitive. You look at it now, and it's, Dave and Brad have done an incredible job. You look at, we've added Hannes Wolf, and we've got Maxi Morales, Santi Rodriguez, we've got Keaton Parks, James Sands, Andres Pereira, we've brought him back. So, there's a lot of competition, and as coaches, I think that is where we want to be. You want to be in a place where, and that's why the game schedule is what it is. We need to give players opportunity to show themselves. We need to find the real. I said last year, and I mentioned a lot about the blend and balance and being able to be a team that has tactical flexibility and has the ability to cope when you get injuries and sustain performance. And you look at the squad that we're building, I'm really pleased with the squad. It's a real strong squad, and there's a lot of competition. I think what I'm really happy with is what you have to have is a lot of competition, but real cohesion and rapport. And I see that with the guys, they're pushing each other. They understand when they get in the training and they get out and they get rotated in the training that this is all part of being a good team. This is all part of being a good team player, and it's all part of being a top player. So the best teams have this. And on Maxi, I spoke to Maxi. Maxi's working really hard. He knows, he understands that it's a process, and we're not at the end stage of that process, and that's just the nature of the level of injury that he had. I really trust our performance guys, and our medical department has been built, is really strong over the last 3-4 seasons that I've been here, has been honed and developed into a really strong performance and medical department. So it wouldn't surprise me if we I have a huge desire to get Maxi back as quick as possible. We know what Maxi is to New York City and what he is to the team, but he's really impressed me with his desire and his real purposefulness to get back in this team. He is working incredibly hard.
We're going to go with Oliver Strand, followed by Chris Campbell.
Hi, thank you. It's good to see you, Coach. I have a question about youth. Last year you had one of the youngest teams in MLS, and more often than not on match day, you fielded the younger team by quite a wide margin. I got the impression that a part of your task is to go and manage the development and the minutes of a player like Micha, that you just can't expect an 18-year-old to be a player who's going to play in 34 games out of the course of the year. This year, it seems like the team might even get younger, especially if some of the transfer rumors are to pan out. So it could be even younger than before. So I have a two-part question. One is, how do you manage the development of these young players whose bodies are changing, developing? The brain isn't developed until you're 25, so there's a lot in flux there. So how do you manage that while still being able to field a competitive team week in and week out? That's the first part. And the second part is, where are you going to find leadership on the team? Because that was a big question mark last year as well.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting because you're asking me about youth and you're asking me about young players and managing that. And, you know, I'm always going to believe in young players and believe in youth. I'm the youngest manager in the league. So I think being, you know, back in youth is something that I really push. But I understand the question. You know, being a young team comes with challenges, and being a young team can seemingly look like we're going to lack the ability to sustain a level and the ability to be competitive and be mature. And I think we learned a lot last year. I think part of the reflection and part of the off-season review was around looking at where we need to improve and looking at how we can obviously achieve all of those things. And I think for me it's more about character and it's more about personality rather than age. I think you know, we look at like, and we speak about this guy a lot because of his journey, Tati. Tati had incredible character and incredible maturity when he was younger than. So I think it's about building a roster that is able to cope with the schedule of MLS, and I feel that we are well on our way with that. Previous questions around, you know, how do you manage the amount of players, the talented players that we have? Well, that gives us the opportunity to rotate them. We do have a really strong performance team led by David Howarth, our head of performance, that is continuously, not only do we do performance testing and medical when they come in, we regularly test the guys and we regularly put them through processes, whether it's testing their physical ability or testing where they are within the season. So, you know, we do monitor the guys a lot. I think for us it's about, you know, developing our talent. I think we look at the likes of Julian Fernandez, we look at, you know, these are really exciting players, and our job is to give them these real individual development plans. It's to continuously push them and improve them and make sure that we notice that when they're hot and when they're playing really well, that we push them and we continue to keep their level high, and when they need to be rotated and when they need to be given rest, which is 100% going to happen in our league if you look at our schedule, not only with MLS, with Open Cup, with Leagues Cup, is that we have the next guy that is ready to go. And I think that is the real key to building a solid roster. And also, you know, we have to look at how we balance out that age and that sort of average age of the team. And there is still time in the window. I will leave the transfer rumours up to you guys. But making sure that we add maturity and we add, you know, that real understanding. Maxi coming back will give us a huge lift in that. Thiago Martins is really stepping up, you know, since he started to wear the captain's armband, since we started to really push him into a leadership role. You know, so we're continuously reviewing that, the age and the maturity and the experience of the team. The one thing I can say is we have a real exciting team. And when I look at them training now, that youthfulness and that sort of younger age, what you know you say, is giving us incredible intensity and an incredible enthusiasm in the training.
Chris, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Happy New Year. You mentioned, you know, new transfers in, and just have a couple questions on Hannes Wolf, who has, you know, been confirmed by the club as coming in. You know, the press release lists him as a midfielder, but it seems like he might have some flexibility. Just wondering, you know, where you see him fitting within the club, either it be at left back or left wing. And then two, you know, what particular characteristics or skills did you see from him that attracted you to bring him into the club?
You've been doing the scouting report, Chris. I can see you've been watching him at Swansea when he played left wing back, right? He won't play there for us. I think he's an offensive player. He's a guy that, for me, is a real exciting player. I think he can play inside as a 10. He can play off the right inside because he's a left footer coming inside, and he could play in the pocket on the left. You know, so he gives us a lot of offensive flexibility. I think the one thing I really love about Hannes is his real aggression without the ball. He is a guy that wants to press forward. He wants to go and get the ball back. He wants to be really aggressive without the ball. And then when we get him in between the lines, he'll be really dynamic. And I think for me, gives us that flexibility when we try and blend those sort of relationships between Santi and Hannes and Tales. And then we have Julian Fernandez, who showed us real excitement as a winger when he played outside. So, you know, Andres Yasin finished strong last year. So I think we're building a roster that has a real blend and a balance. And I think Hannes will really, really add to that. we're just so excited to get him in, and we just want to get him here and get him on the training field.
Final question, we'll go with Glenn Crooks.
Hey, Dick. First, I'd like to address to Oliver and tell him that I believe my brain is still developing, and I'm well past 25, so thank you. And the second question, your history as a manager prior, and I'm talking more Man City with the women, and we talked about it at about mid-season last year, is that you really don't like to make a lot of changes to the 11, depending on the schedule and the congestion and things like that. But you were sort of forced into it last year. Sometimes it was international, sometimes it was injury, sometimes it was just lack of consistency from individuals. You weren't sure who you could count on. Do you anticipate that you'll be able to be more the manager you once were in terms of your lineups?
It's a big question. I think when you see the talent that we have in the group is, do I think we can play 11 players and consistently roll those players? I think there's a lot of talent that won't be in the team. So if you ask me now, I've said this before, I think it's a really interesting debate when we talk to head coaches is, do you go with form or freshness? Because of the schedule that we have. And I think when I was the head coach in the women's team, we tended to go with form based on the schedule wasn't so crazy. It wasn't so, three game weeks, cup competitions, travel. It's completely unique, the MLS, and this is why I really love our league, because of the travel schedule, the different environments and climates, the different time zones, the schedule. Then a cup competition comes. It's what makes our league so competitive and so unique and so special, in my opinion. We reflected on that, and maybe in years past, especially when I took over as interim head coach in 2022, we tended to play with the same team, and Tati left and Gabrielle came in and Tales, and we sort of rolled with the same team because we had form. But I think when you do a pre-season and you're in the start of the season, freshness is going to be really important. If we achieve our goals and we become the team that we want to become, freshness will be really important, because I think our team is at its best and has been over 21 and 22 when we've been really aggressive and really attacking and played a real high intense form of the game. And what that does is bring demand from the players that play and demand from the players that have to be rotated in. So this team is going to push me hard because it has a lot of talent in it, and the guys are showing at the moment that they want to play. So there's competition for places, and what I believe and what I've learned through being a head coach is competition for places brings consistency and performance, and consistency and performance brings results.
Great. Thank you, everyone. We appreciate your time today. We will share today's press conference via email, and our next press conference will be next Friday, the 26th at 1 p.m. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.